Have you ever listened to a podcast interview and felt completely captivated? Like you were right there in the room. The guest opens up, the conversation flows, and before you know it, the episode's over. So what makes that happen? Because it's not luck. And it's definitely not just a list of questions. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I approach podcast interviews. Not theory, not what sounds good on paper. This is based on experience. In 2025 alone, I conducted 266 interviews. And the biggest thing I learned, great interviews aren't about talking. They're about listening. A lot of podcast interviews fall flat for one simple reason. The host isn't really listening. They're skimming answers, they're mentally ticking boxes, they're rushing to the next question on the list, and you can feel it as the listener. The guest gives a great answer and the host just jumps somewhere else, completely unrelated. No depth, no follow-up, no flow. That's not a conversation, that's just questions happening at someone. For me, everything starts before the guest ever arrives. The more relaxed the guest is, the better they talk. And the better they talk, the more honest and open and fluid that conversation becomes. It starts with alignment. Does this guest add value to my audience, and can we add value back to them? Podcast interviews should be about an exchange. When guests know they're not just coming to be mined for their content, they relax, they stop performing and they start guarding their answers. Then comes my preparation. Every guest gets a short pre-attendance questionnaire. Not so I can script their answers, but so I understand them, who they are, what they do, what matters to them, what they might want to share. That content lets me listen later. I also send a full run through of the day because clarity creates a calm. If someone knows what's coming, they don't waste their energy worrying. I ask what drink they want, what snacks they like, any allergies, and we also ask for accessibility. The biggest enjoyment is asking what entrance music they'd like. Because when someone walks in the door, they have their own soundtrack. They instantly drop their shoulders, they smile, they breathe. It's not accidental, it's intentional. Here's the real key to a great interview. Listening. Not passive listening, not waiting for your turn, actually hearing what the guest is saying and responding to that. I do have questions, but they're a guide, not a script. This isn't an interrogation, and trust me, I know what an interrogation looks like. I used to be a police officer. I'm not one anymore, you're fine. This is a conversation. When a guest answers a question, I'm listening for threads, something they gloss over, something emotional, something they didn't expect to say, and that's where I go next. I don't rush, I don't skim, I dig deeper. Oh, that's interesting, tell me more about that. What was that actually like for you? How did that change things? That's the real moment, live. I repeat things back to them. I bridge topics properly. I make sure the conversations flow and I allow for pauses. Silence isn't awkward, it's thinking time. There's editing that we can take them out later if they're too long, but in the moment, we need space. There's no rush. Often halfway through, we'll take a break on longer interviews, we'll reset, grab our energy back, and we allow that to build a little bit more trust. It lets us go deeper into the second half. So a great podcast interview isn't about how many questions you ask, it's about how well you listen. It's about creating safety, earning trust, and being curious enough to follow the conversation where it wants to go. That's how you get interviews people actually want to listen to. If you are a podcast host, be honest. Do you listen or do you wait? Let me know in the comments. And check out the next video where I'll show you how to ask follow-up questions that turn good answers into great conversations.